What's up YouTube, welcome back to the channel. The reason we looked on this video is to see a transformation to my Crf250 Geico Edition to the fracture jack raised machine, which was for the 2020 season. Unfortunately, due to this coronavirus, which you will have heard of, practicing is closed because of social distancing, and also racing is stopped until further notice. So while we're at home, I thought I'd do this because it's a perfect opportunity, and while the sun's out it makes it even better. But for everyone loving the red on the Hondas, these will be my race plastic, practice plastics. I've actually got two sets of these, but for my race plastics I will be having a complete colour change, and also for the bike we've got a few bling bits which are going to look really cool. But instead of me boring you, let's just get on with the video. So the first part of the transformation is getting the plastics off. I'm not going to show you guys that, I'm just going to time lapse it, so let's get started. So as you've just seen, it is important to put the hardware back into the bike. It might be a personal preference. I don't know if you guys do it on your bikes, but I certainly do on mine to keep it all in place so I know where it is and I don't lose anything. So if that's a thing that you don't do, try it. It's a good tip. So other than the bar pad, that's the whole bike stripped down. All the plastics are off. It's time to get some bling bits on. Now all the plastics are off, we can now start and change some of the bits. Here we have got the stock Crf250 hoses, but we will be changing them to the AS3 Performance silicone hoses in the blue. And then as you can see on the inside, the inner diameter is much wider. This helps the coolant around the engine flow much faster. And then also along with that we have got some stainless steel AS3 clamps for the hoses so we can get a nice seal on there. But before we do that, we've got to take off the skid plate to access the drainage plug for the coolant. So let's get. Or unsure about anything, take a look in your owner's manual like I've done here. As you can see, I've identified where the drainage plug is for the coolant, so it is in fact there. And then also I have had a look, so when I put it back in I can correctly tighten it up. So if you come down here to coolant drainage bolt, which is there, go there, it's 10 Newton meters, so I can set that on the torque wrench. But another good tip for you, here at the top of the radiator, what you want to do when you're draining it is take this off so it relieves pressure, and also will make sure that all of the coolant is drained out. And then whilst we are here, this is what I'll be using, so I'll just put that there and then it'll drain into this big container which we can dispose. So now everything is drained down, we're going to start loosening the clamps so that we can remove the hoses. One thing that you will find with radiator hoses after they've been on any bike for quite a while, they'll be really tight and hard to get off. So what I've done is got a little screwdriver, and what you want to do is break the seal. So if you just gently break the seal like that, and eventually it'll come loose and you can push it down and the radiator hose should just pop off like that. So I'm just taking off the last hose now. I've laid out the rest of them that I've took off, and then once I get the blue hoses out, I'll do the same layout so I know where to put them on the bike. I'll just take this one off now. There we are. So then, first pick that up, then we'll lay that on there. So then let's get the blue hoses out. So as you can see, all the old hoses are off. We've laid them out on the floor with the new ones. This is just so we can accurately know where they go onto the bike. So let's just put them on. All sorted. That is the first one put onto the bike. So now we have replaced all the stock hoses of the AS3 Performance blue ones, and then we just need to tighten the coolant drainage bolt to 10 Newton meters, and then afterwards we're going to fill all the system up again. So once you hear this noise, you do know that the bolt is securely tightened to the desired setting. So we have just filled up the coolant system, and then next we're going to take off the tank so we can fit a works connection hour meter. But first we're just going to put back on the cap. So now that that's on, we're going to take off the tank so we can get to the spark plug, and then we will be fitting the hour meter which I've got here, and that just helps us with the maintenance so we know when to change the oil, etc. Especially on a 4-stroke, it's really needed. So we've removed the tank to gain access to the coil and also the spark plug. We're just going to wrap the wire of the hour meter onto the spark plug and again onto the coil. So we are halfway through installing the hour meter. We've gained access here to the spark plug cap, and the wires we've wrapped around very tightly so it sends a reading as the engine pulses to here. At the minute on the display it's showing hours that the bike has done, and then also we have revs per minute, max revs per minute, and then also the time. So that we're just going now install that onto the tank mount. So we've installed the tank, and also we've added this graphic onto the plastic here that covers the tank, but now we're just going to add these little bolts onto the hour meter. So that is the whole hour meter installed. I think it looks really nice and also displays everything I need to know, so I can keep track of the maintenance I do on the bike, oil changes, etc. But now we're going to move on to these work connection radiator braces, because the radiators in the tip over aren't too strong, so these just support them. So let's go fit these. So what we've got to do now to fit the radiator braces is take off this little cable tie which holds the throttle cables, so that we can fit this to the frame and we can have the new supports in from the radiator braces to the frame. Guys, as you can see, this does give a lot of strength to the radiator, and hopefully it won't tweak or bend in a crash. So now we're just putting on this right hand side shroud before I go on to the left hand side and put that radiator brace on. So before we move on to the other side and do that radiator brace, I'm going to put all the plastics like I've done on here. On the right hand side of the bike also will be a mudguard, and then we're going to spin the bike round and then carry on with the other side. So this is the rear mudguard for Crf250. So you've got my YouTube channel there and a few other little logos. But as you can see, we have gone Nardo grey this year. So let's fit this now. How does it feel living the dream? How does it feel living the dream all the time? She said. So guys, this is my side panel. Got my number and also my YouTube logo again there. The reason I do go with this year I have gone for 15 is it's the date of my birthday. Last year on my KX85 did have 159, so that is the 15th of the 9th, my birthday. So what do you guys think? Should I go 15 or next year stay 159? Let me know in the comments. I gotta have this, wanna be rich. I gotta have this, wanna be rich in this life. Told her I. So guys, that is one side done other than the mudguard in the front number plate, but hopefully this gives you an idea what the bike's going to look like. I've got grips, a lot of other things like bling bits, carbon fibre pieces to put onto the engine, so that's quite a lot. Won't be getting done tonight, but I'll pick it up tomorrow morning. So it is the next day of the bike build, and as you can see, we've got a lot to get on with. We've got to fit grips, tyres, Holeshot devices, radiator braces, and also engine covers and a lot more. So let's just get on with it. So the first thing we're going to do on the bike today is fit the radiator braces. I can see here the hole is obstructed, so the hardware won't go in. So if we trim off this bit of material here, that means the hardware can go in freely. So I'm going to time lapse that for you now. So as you can see, the material has been taken away from the radiator guard. This just allows the radiator brace to sit flush and hardware to go in smoothly. So as you can see, the radiator brace has a lot of support on the radiator. No tweaking in the crash, hopefully. So that's good. So we've got 99% of the plastic, so I'm not going to show you any more of that until we do a little edit when the bike is complete. But now we're just going to change these engine plugs for these AS3 Performance blue ones. We've got them there, and also to cover the engine cases we've got these Pro Carbon Racing engine covers. I don't know if they're being faded, but they do look a bit different to when I bought them at the dirt bike show. So just post it in the comments if that's normal, or if any of you guys have experienced it. But that's just going to go on there and protect the engine cases. That's going to look really good. So let's get started with that. So as you can see, we've got the bike leaned over, and if you're wondering how, we have bought a special motorsports stand specifically for cleaning your bike or getting to them bits that you wouldn't normally get to. It's good for changing clutches, or in this case the engine plugs. So now we are messing around with the engine. We don't want any contaminants getting in, so I've got some latex gloves on. Yesterday probably should have got some on while I was doing the coolant, but I did forget and I didn't think it was going to come out how it did. So learn from your mistakes. But let's just get started and teach you guys how to put this on. Once you take the plug out, what you want to do is inspect the O-ring. If it's damaged, always replace it. But in this case, because it's new, there's nothing wrong with it, so we're going to reuse it. So if you take this off, take it off and inspect it, put that there. What you want to do on the new one is put a thin layer of grease around where the O-ring is going to be. That just means you're going to have a nice seal. So just get a bit of tissue, clean off any contaminants, and also clean off the O-ring. And once that is done, let's get a tub of grease. So we're just going to put the O-ring on now. Just push this down. As you see, it sits there. And then we're going to put this back into the bike. But obviously we will check in the manual the torque settings and correct specifications. So the larger one is in now. It's the exact same process on the littler one. So we're just going to show you when it's finished. So now we're going to tighten them to the correct specification, and afterwards we are going to put on the Pro Carbon engine cover. But I love them. What do you guys think? So now we have got the carbon cover on and also the engine plugs. But just take a look. I think they look sick. So we have moved over to the right hand side, and as you can see, with only a few hours on the bike, the paint has started to wear on the engine case. So we have gone with carbon engine cover. Just let me know if you have carbon, Boyson, or things like hints and covers. Just post it in the comments and I might pick one of them up. But it's just going to go on there. You have to leave the sealant for 24 hours. But we did forget to pick up an oil filler cap and an oil filter housing cover. So we're going to pick up some of them in blue. I think they're going to look really cool. But now we're just going to apply this.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I
that looks sick. So this is what the plastics look like with the graphics on. We obviously haven't put the fork guards on, as we are going to take the forks out and put the fork shrink on. I think it looks sick. We still need to apply the graphic to the swing arm. Let me know what you guys think about the frame. Do we powder coat it black or get some grip tape or frame guards? There'll be some on the screen now of what I'm thinking. But yeah, overall looks sick. So now we are going to take off the grips, as the stock ones are pretty hard. I've got two choices of Renthal half waffle grips, medium and soft, so depending on which one I go for, I'll show you that. But then we also have got some locking wire. It also holds the grip on, and also it does look factory. And then we have got some new Renthal donuts in the blue to bring the whole back together and go with my hoses. So that is one grip off. It's the same process on the other side, and also we get the old glue off for the new ones to go on. So we've put a bit of RFX glue in now, we got that from DK. So what you want to do is just slide it on, and can be a bit fiddly. So that's one of the grips installed. We just need to wipe off any excess glue, and then after we're going to put the locking wire on in the donuts. It's going to look sick. So now it's time to put the donuts on. We have in fact gone with the medium compound. I did put a poll on my Instagram. My Instagram will be on the screen now, just like the behind the scenes of what we do. So go check it out and give me a follow. We've put on the grips on both sides and they look amazing, but what we need to do is drop out the forks so we can fit the fork shrink. These just give 100% protection. Link will be in the description for them if you want to pick some up. And also from Motion Pro we did pick up some micro bleeders. I'm just worried that they will stick up too far in the forks and cause problems. If you have got on yourself and fitted some bleeders, just post it in comments if you had any problems and let me know. It'd be much appreciated. Also guys, one thing I am thinking about is if I should change the spar pad. It does go with the YouTube logos and some other things, but just let me know if I should go maybe black or even blue to go with like the blue hoses and stuff like that. Some things that I forgot to mention, like at some point I would like to change this brake, maybe for like a black and blue one. I'm not too sure if I'd change the foot pegs, probably not. But obviously change that little red piece along with them as I did say later, earlier on in the video. Possibly change them for blue, and also we are waiting on a black Renthal sprocket, and maybe a chain also. And then I would like an Exerbis or a Cherbis, I'm not too sure how you pronounce it, chain guide, because I think it looks really cool. And then at some point I would like to get a black and blue gear shifter. But yeah, just post in the comments what you think my next upgrade should be. So the first part of taking the forks out is obviously we're going to take the wheel off and then the caliper, so then we can unloosen the clamps and then slide the forks out one by one. So to take off the front wheel from the forks, we need to use a special bit from Motion Pro to loosen the axle.
This mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much.
So guys, we've just taken it off. It's really important to be careful with these. You don't want to damage it or drop it. But now we are going to fit the Holeshot device onto the fork guard and also put the fork shrink on to have 100% protection. So guys, that is the second one out. It looks pretty weird without any forks in, but now we're just going to inspect them and then clean them. So now that all the forks are out, this is the right hand side fork, but don't worry, it isn't resting on the floor. I've got a cloth underneath to protect it, but we do need to take off this old graphic so we can place this one on there. Also, we have got some special contact cleaner which gets rid of glue, so that's really helpful. But this is just the last of the graphic now. So that's off. Now we've just got to clean it. Well, that looks pretty cool. Place that there. Now we're just going to wipe this off. As you can see, I have put on the Holeshot device, but there's going to be a bit of a problem. As you can see, it does obstruct. So what we're going to have to do is cut this bit off where it says fork shrink and slide it on separately and put it here, and then the rest of the half will go on top. So we have taken off the works connection starting device, and then we have cut off as much as we needed. So basically all we're going to do now is slide that over the top, which will leave a bit of a space, and then apply that there. And then as you can see, what we're going to do, apply a bit of heat. And then it'll shrink onto the fork and it's going to look amazing. So that'll sit nicely there, and then the rest of it will go above. So let's get fitting it. So as you can see, give you a bit of idea, you have to cut it in two, so the starting device can go in between them. And as you can see, we've heat shrunk this bit. I applied a bit of heat, and as you can see, it moulds to the fork, and then as we apply heat here, it'll do the same. Let's just do that. So as you can see, that's all shrunk now and offers a lot of protection for the fork, and also it is in this amazing blue. So here's the finished product. Fork Shrink, I want to give a big shout out to them. They do some amazing fork protections. So link up in the description for that, but check this out. So we've got the fork back into the bike now. We did actually purchase some upper fork shrink as well. So we've applied that and heat shrunk it on, and I think it looks so cool. But now it's just to get the other one back on. This is the opposite leg. I'm not going to show you this side because I did show you the right fork leg. This isn't a sponsored deal or anything for fork shrink either. I just love the products. But if they do want to send me some free fork shrink, I'm happy enough to review them. So just drop it in the comments if you are watching. So that's fork number 2 done. We just need to do the uppers once we put it through the clamps, and then also we're going to contact clean all of this to get all the dirt and grime off. So let's go put it on. So we've got both forks all done now in the bike. As per the manufacturer states, we need to tighten the bolts to 22 Newton meters at the top and 20 Newton meters here. So we've already done the tops, we just need to do the bottom. So then, once you hear the noise, you know it's at 20 Newton meters or whatever the desired setting is. So now I'm just going to move on to this side. So now we've put the wheel in. Only the bolts are touch tight, because basically what you want to do so it inlines them is push on the suspension for a few times, and that should inline everything. Then afterwards you can go and tighten it down to right specification. So as you've just seen, I've put the wheel back on after fitting the fork shrink. What we're going to show you next is how to fit the works connection starting device, but unfortunately we have had a few technical errors and I've been speaking to myself for the past 30 minutes. So what I've decided to do is use the opposite fork guard as a demonstration how the installation would go. Using the templates given in the kit, what you would do is tape them on to the fork guard like I've done here, and then also it does come with this metal jig here, so when you're drilling you drill accurately. But it does come in the kit with this shocking piece that you do drill with. So that's absolutely shocking, so let's get rid of that. But now, let's go fit something else. So an important part when fitting the works connection starting device is making sure it's centered. So what I've done is use the center line, this piece of rope here, straight down the fork, so that here is lined up with there. So the final part of the bike build is getting on some fresh tyres. As you can see, I usually run Dunlops, but I've been advised to run these MX ST by Maxxis, and they also are a collaboration between Jerry McGrath and Maxxis. But we will be fitting them on the all new TMT5 that we've picked up. As everyone knows, changing motocross tyres is really hard and difficult, so that's going to be in a different video, so stay tuned for that and subscribe. But let's just go fit these now and we'll show you some cinematics after.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to see, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10.
So I do hope you like the bike just as much as I do. But as you can see, I'm matching the bike with Owkay Clothing. If you would like to grab yourself some, the link will be in the description. Use code JACKME10 to get yourself 10% discount. But I would like to give a big shout out to the NHS workers for keeping us all safe and healthy, and everyone else that contributes towards the cause. I think it's really important to stay indoors and stay home, so keeping your families and friends safe, and then hopefully we can get on track this year. But if you do like the video, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Stay safe, keep pins, and I'll see you all soon.